Right then, let's get ready for round two. Right, so if you're new here, what I'm trying to do is I've got one of these cheap diesel heaters, Chinese diesel heaters. I'm using it to heat this workshop, which is about 36 square meters. What I'm trying to do with it though is there's a lot of heat that gets lost from the exhaust. The exhaust gets really hot, so I'm trying to see if I can create a sand battery to recover some of that heat. In a previous incarnation we had the 25mm standard exhaust pipe. I had 6 meters of that on it and it didn't really work that well. Started out all right and then kind of took a dramatic turn, became basically a £100 smoke pump. So there we go. So now what I've managed to do is source, this is 38mm. It's smoother bore because the other one was corrugated, which wouldn't be helping with the flow. Hopefully there's less friction on the inside of this, and with the bigger bore we've probably doubled, if not gone a bit more, the actual flow capacity of this. It comes with an adapter, so we've got to go from 38mm internal bore on that to a 25mm external on the standard exhaust. Now the only thing I'm concerned about with this stuff is it's a lot easier to move. I was concerned about its gas tightness, if you know what I mean. So I contacted the manufacturer and they said it should be fine, it'll still be gas tight, but I don't know, it's just something I'm going to be concerned about until I prove it wrong. I've put a vacuum cleaner on it and it draws a vacuum, so far so good. But I think if this works, the external pipes of this barrel, where it comes out, goes out the wall, and where it comes from the heater in, all that stuff, I think I might exhaust wrap it just to belt and braces. And also then this vent, I might connect that outside so that if it does leak any gas in here, it goes outside. And obviously I've moved my carbon monoxide detector a lot closer. I might even wear it around my neck while we're doing this. But however, it'd be good to get this done because I've got loads of sand ready to go in this, and my youngest has discovered it. So yeah, it's a battle of sand castles at the moment, so it'd be good to get rid of that. But however, what we're going to do now is I've plugged this hole already because the holes are going to sit differently. Because on the 25mm, I came in at the top and went down and then went out for condensation to try and use gravity to run that out. And I don't know if the hot gases wanting to rise was acted against the gases coming out, because there's not a lot of pressure comes out of this. I don't know if that was contributing with that, and also the corrugations and the actual restriction of the bore, whether that was all compounding the problem. So I'm going to start at the bottom, go out through the top, because when I did that on the first test of this, that 6mm to 25mm stuff, it's up there, I keep pointing up there. I did it that way, and there was no condensation at the business end, like the heater side. It was only on the last sort of foot that was sticking out the barrel. So my hope is that, because the pipe's hot, and it's only going to get hotter because it's going to retain some of the heat, the condensation won't form until it gets to a cooler pipe, which will be either the outside of the tank, but if I wrap that, it should keep it warm. If not, it'll be right out through the wall. So it might mitigate my condensation problem. However, if it doesn't work, I'll have to go back around the other way if this works. So we've got to open up the size of these. I blocked that one, but the one down the bottom, I'm going to use that one and then create another one depending on the sweep of this pipe. So we've got to open that up from I think it's 25 to a 44. So we're going to do the old hole saw trick. Just use 2 hole saws, and you basically just, that's my existing size, 25, 32, yeah, 32, couldn't we have 25? That's my existing size, and you just put your new size, the bigger one, on and screw that in. I've done a video on that, but it's, you know, it's fairly easy. So we're going to open that up. The other concern is the original pipe was quite stiff, it would hold its shape, whereas this, not so much. So when we get this working, if it works, we'll have to build up the layers of sand to hold its shape, which might be an advantage, might be easier to work with, because you was fighting, it's like fighting a cold spring, that other stuff. But let me get this hole drilled. This was the old flange that we had coming out of the hole for the 25mm pipe. I've basically cut two or joined two together and opened them out because I didn't have a bit of pipe big enough. But what this is just so that I can slide this new stuff through, rivet that to the barrel, and then clamp that just to hold it in place so it doesn't move around or this doesn't vibrate against the tank. So I'm opening this up to, what is this, 44 because this is the nearest I've got to my size, but it should be about right. And it's just as simple as we're going to use the existing hole as a pilot so that this don't wobble around. My battery flat. Yeah, always a good idea to check your batteries not flat. So that's just going to sit on there like that. Repeat as I did before. I'll mark the holes so that rivets can go in, and then I'll put it from the inside out with a bit of exhaust paste around it just to seal it, stop any sand from getting out, and that'll be our flange to support the pipe. Another advantage of using exhaust paste. There we go. Should see me ice a cake. Right. Right, that's that bit. Made a little bit of a boo-boo. I want this to be on the outside of this pipe, and what I've actually bought is the same size, so I've got another one en route. So this is a couple of weeks after I started the front end of this video. Had a couple of things that have taken me off this. However, we'll have a quick look, see what I've done. I've done some bits off camera, but it's fairly obvious what I've done. And then my plan is, because the sand's still drying out, believe it or not, but I think what I'll do is we'll go through the rest of this, and then I'll give it a couple more weeks to dry out, and I might do a quick video just to round up how it performs. But so far so good. This 38mm exhaust pipe seems to be doing the trick. Instead of coming in at the top and then it coming out, exiting at the bottom because condensation running downhill, I've just gone at the bottom, come out the top, and the theory is it acts like a chimney, so the heat rises, keeps the moisture in the steam or whatever, and then just expels it out. So it seems to be working. We've got no soot coming out the end of the exhaust. I've run a couple of tanks of diesel through it now. It gets up to 220 degrees, the combustion temperature, so everything, touch wood, seems to be going quite well. So this is the level we're at. We've got bricks in the middle because I wanted to take up some of the volume, not just completely fill it with sand. And I had the spare bricks, but also it gives me a void, goes straight down to the bottom, because I'm thinking it might help any moisture at the bottom come up through like a chimney. It's got somewhere to go rather than have to leach through all the sand and come out through the top, because it's not obviously going to go out through the metal. So that's what that is. I've got 2 more bricks to go on here, and then this sand's going to come up to just below the top. I did a new flange and I modified the angle to get more of a swept bend, so this is about as steep as it goes, which is, or as tight as the bend gets, which is a lot better than the corrugated stuff. This you can bend more smoothly, or get a smoother bend on it. So that's working out. I don't know if you can see, but just here you can see where the sand's contracting. I can get down the side of it. So it is drying. It's a lot better than it was now. We are getting there, but it's taken a while. So this is the connection between the 38mm polylock and the corrugated pipe that comes with the heater. I've cut this down. I cut it to about there, and then this step down or step up adapter goes from 25mm to 42, I believe. So that slides over the top of the polylock. There's exhaust paste on the inside of that. exhaust paste on that, and I put a slot in both the ends of this so that the clamps could clamp it down, and obviously the exhaust paste is holding it firm. There's no leaks on this, so that's great. And then also what I did, I got some is it carbon fibre exhaust wrap, just to make sure there's no chance of any leaks or whatever. And I did the same on the outlet, and on here I want to keep the heat in this pipe, because at this point I'm not interested in it. It should all be in here, but if it can keep it a little bit warmer, help the condensation form later on in the pipe, that's what that's for. So on the outside I've changed the route of the inlet. That was the original inlet and outlet. I've got rid of them, blocked them up. That's now a lot shorter pipe, and it goes up quite steep, and the bends are smoother. That's a smooth bore pipe as well, so hopefully there's less turbulence for better flow. The exhaust is obviously a lot higher now, and that goes diagonally up and then goes to the top of the tank, so any condensation there will just run out. But we get a little bit of steam out of it. But if you look in the pipe, it's absolutely spotless, and that has run for twice as long as I did with the 25mm. And if you remember the 25mm, we had loads of soot in it. So this seems to be working much better, that 38mm pipe, and that hose is actually 7 meters long. I went for a little bit more so I could have cut it down to size, but I'd actually just used the whole thing. I thought I'd try it, and 7 meters 38mm pipe seems to be working fine so far. So let's do a cold start. If we look at the temperature at 0 time, I've literally just switched it on. So the combustion temperature is 5 degrees. So it's plenty cold enough. We'll start that. Right, the fan's just come in. That's just started clicking. 2 minutes later, still at 5 degrees. I don't know if you're going to make this out. I can just see some steam. And the only thing I've noticed with this is when it first starts up until it kind of gets up to temperature, the exhaust is a little bit raspy. And obviously you can't put a silencer on that, or not the standard one anyway. But that start up. .33 degrees, 34, climbing. Starting to put some warm air out there now. And so far what's happening, obviously the bottom warms up a lot quicker than the top. And I think a lot of energy is being lost, though, converting or drying out the sand and getting rid of the steam. But my hope is once this is all dry, the ideal solution would be that gets up to about 50 degrees, so I can get one of them log burner little fans that's heat activated, stick that on the top. I don't know if that's a bit wishful thinking, because obviously they're designed to run at 50 degrees minimum, I think. But it'll be interesting if I can do that, because then it'll just sit on there and blow warm air across. But that might be wishful thinking. But here we go, here's the big boy. I don't know if you can hear that, but once it gets up to temperature, it quietens down a lot. But I don't know if that's going from 25 into a 38. Bit like, there you go. I don't know if you heard that shut down for me waffling. See, that's a lot quieter now. But let's let this run. Keep an eye on the time. We're 5 minutes in and we're at 95. 97. So I'll give it another 10-15 minutes and see what temperature's at. That's 15 minutes. And where are we? 205. So combustion temperature's coming up nicely. And we're only running, well, we're only on gear 3 or fan speed 3, so it's fairly low. 205. 211, 212. Right, I think I'm going to end this video here because I want to get it out. But the next one will just be that full of hopefully dry sand, and then do some measurements just to see what sort of temperatures we can get coming out of this with the thermal camera. I might do it or try and do it late at night so it's colder outside, get a bit more of a contrast. But what I will say with this heater, regardless of all this, this is just my experiment trying to get the most out of it. This on its own, although it doesn't heat my workshop up to the 20 degrees I was hoping for when it's minus outside, it is a lot better having this in than not having it, because at least you've got some hot air blowing and it makes it work. You can work out even when it's freezing cold. In the last sort of month we've had some pretty cold, for us, pretty cold temperatures, but this makes a massive difference. So this is staying. This was just me playing, hopefully try and get a little bit more out of it, because there's a lot of heat goes out of this exhaust. I'm just being greedy, I suppose, but every little counts, as they say. But hopefully you found this one interesting. If you could like it, it'll help other people find it, and subscribe and help me grow the channel, and I'll see you on the next one.